2018. What is up, cool kids? I'm Cool Trainer Gavin. This is sort of our end of 2018, start of 2019 update video. Sorry if my background is kind of a mess. Filming this on the aftermath of Christmas Day. We had Christmas Day for my dad's side of the family at our house today, so my room is especially messy because we had to shove some things in here to make the house look a little bit cleaner. But I think I'm gonna publish this on New Year's Eve. Not sure yet. Sometime it'll be after Christmas Eve, or after Christmas Day. But there's a lot of things in my mind as we bring 2018 to a close and start off a brand new year. So I'm gonna start off with channel news. Mostly just so, like, if you don't want to sit here, because I'm gonna talk about channel things and then personal things. So if you just want, the channel stuff, only watch until whatever point I put up on the screen right there. And then if you want to get to know me better as a person, if you strictly only want to watch me play Pokemon and are not interested in me as a person whatsoever. Is my cat in here? My cat is in here. If you're not interested in me as a person, you can stop watching at X point and go about your day. That's fine. But just as a convenience for you guys, I'm gonna talk about channel stuff first. And I really didn't know what I wanted to say in this video. I don't know why I paused so much there. Until I watched the King Nappy's sort of end of 2018, like, hour-long rant vent session that he made. That came out on Christmas Day, like very early Christmas morning. And in it, he talked a lot about creativity. And how he's had a lot of, this year didn't turn out quite how he wanted it to. He had a theme for the whole year, but that kind of got, overshadowed by, a death in the family, some other projects that he was working on with some other people, and just, in general, creatively did not go how he wanted. And I resonate with that a lot. Because there's, even down in, like, the depths of 100, I think I'm sitting at, like, 125 subscribers at the time of filming this. And don't get me wrong, I love each and every one of you. I'm thrilled that anybody takes time out of their day to watch the things that I put on the internet. But even I hear stuff about, like, the Pokemon community being dead. It's just the same, copy-paste Nuzlocke here, randomizer there. And I'm guilty of that, I'm not gonna lie. And it's because of that we're gonna be shifting a little bit. Now, you may or may not know, I talk about it in the outro of every single video, but I have a second channel. Which focuses mainly on Pokemon science, Pokemon theories. I think I did a top 10 on it. I'm working on editing the video that was supposed to go up last week, if you follow me on Twitter. It's supposed to go up on Saturday. Good lord, that was a hot mess. That video took so long to edit. I need to go refilm it tomorrow, actually. But anyway, that's my business. But basically, what I want to do creatively... I'm sorry I'm looking down. Like, it's not even scripted. I just don't know why I'm not looking at my camera. I don't know. I think starting in 2019, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on the not side channel. I guess it'll be the other channel. I'm not going to call one main and one side. But the other channel, Palette University, because creatively, that channel has a lot more of the things that I want to do creatively. I enjoy, memeing around, and I had a lot of fun making the Smash videos, the series that we had. They didn't do super well, but, and YouTube really bothers me with the way that they compress their videos, because it makes my videos look like trash, even though they look fine on my computer, but that's a totally different thing. But once we finish these two series that we have going on right now, I think I'm going to only be limiting just to like one Let's Play at a time, which is typically what I do. And maybe not daily uploads. I've been doing daily uploads solid since Let's Go came out. I've missed maybe 2 or 3 days total since November 15th or 16th. So I think as soon as we finish one of these Let's Plays, whichever one ends first, links to those plays will be down in the description, as always. And I'm having so much fun with both of them. I'm having so much fun with going Garnet and seeing all the custom shinies that look beautiful. Drayano obviously always makes fantastic games. So I'm really enjoying playing Renegade Platinum as well. But like I said, just creatively, you know, Let's Plays aren't it for me. I spent almost 3 years at this point. Jesus, has it been that long? Yeah, I started it in 2016. Yeah. Started my channel in fall, like I think November. I think Halloween. I think Halloween 2016 was my first video that I uploaded. 2016. And once again, not that I don't love and appreciate everybody who watches my videos, but it's been almost 3 years. And clearly, maybe it's just that I'm not hype enough. You know, I'm in general just a pretty calm person. You know, I'm not someone like A-Drive who's gonna, you know, freak out and run around the room when I find a shiny. That's just who I am. Or I guess that's just not who I am. And I guess that's the only kind of person you can be as a Let's Player. It seems like, anyway. And I guess that's just not for me. And I'm okay with it. I still am going to, you know, keep up with the Let's Play channel. I'm not going to let it go away because like I said, I do genuinely enjoy making the content. But I just don't think that this is the main avenue for me if I want to succeed in this. That's why starting, you know, probably mid to late January, because I do plan on continuing and doing daily uploads of either series, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday are Renegade Platinum, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are Glowing Garnet, and then I haven't figured out what I want to do on Sundays yet. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll do an episode of both. I don't know. But yeah. So, once those go away, Palette University, definitely check that out. That's basically the biggest thing channel-wise, is that there will be a decrease in the amount of content in mid to late January. That's just going to be how it is. You know, I'm going to go around and do some, like, just general maintenance things, like, oh god, I watched my, like, channel intro video, and honestly, I don't know why any of you subscribed if you saw that. It's from over a year ago, and it's super cringy. I'm not going to lie. So, I will be refilming that as soon as I get back to school. Around, like, the 14th or 15th, somewhere around there. That's going to be, like, number, like, 1 or 2 things on my priority list when I get my computer all set up at school. Yeah, so just gonna be some general cleaning up of the channel. I think I'm going to put up a new channel banner as well, maybe a new just logo in general. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the channel. So now's the point where I'm going to talk about personal stuff. So if you're just here for the channel, I hope your New Year's Eve is fantastic. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope your Christmas was fantastic as well. Mine was pretty good. Made out pretty well. So yeah, personal stuff. Now, if you've been around the channel, I know we got a lot of new subscribers recently. And if you haven't, you know, gone back and watched some of my older videos, you know, I don't blame you. I probably wouldn't, you know, research every video the person's ever made as soon as I, you know, subscribe to them either. Around August, I put up a video called basically like worst summer of ever update, and like I didn't mean it for it to be clickbaity, but I guess it kind of was. And I'm sure this one might be titled kind of similarly, because not exaggerating whatsoever, 2018 is probably the worst year of my life, and will probably continue to be the worst year of my life until one of my parents dies. In all honesty, hopefully that's not for, you know, years and years and years. My parents are not old. My dad is 49, my mom is 47. Yeah, so hopefully that's for years to come. But man, 2018 was fucking awful. And, you know, normally I try to keep the channel very PG, but for this part, I need to be me for this part. So I'm probably gonna swear a little bit. It's not gonna be super excessive. If that turns you off, I'm sorry. But 2018 was fucking awful, man. It was so bad. Just very briefly, I'm gonna take you guys through my 2018, completely separate from anything to do with the channel. So, January started off, you know, I didn't think it could get much worse than January. So normally me and my friends, as we're probably doing tonight at the time you see this, my friends from my youth leadership group, I've been with the organization. It's an international youth leadership organization called the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Group, or organization. We shorten it to HOBie. Basically we take in high school sophomores. I give this speech so often. We take in high school sophomores, and we train them how to use leadership skills to make positive changes in their community. I've been going since I was a sophomore. I've been like back on staff since I was a junior in high school, and that was in 2013. So I've been with them for almost seven years basically at this point, from when I went as a student. I have a tattoo of the logo right here for the organization. And I met all my best friends through this group. So every year we have a New Year's Eve party, and last year we did a gift exchange Secret Santa thing. It was a lot of fun. I almost never get to see them because we all live in different parts of the country. One of my friends lives in Maryland, but for the most part we're kind of scattered around New York State. But it's nice to just have a time outside of what's basically work when we're at the annual yearly meeting of this group. It's nice to just be around each other all at the same time and just have fun as friends. But if you've been around the channel for a year now, an actual year at this point, I'm an RA at my school, and last year I volunteered to be the winter session RA for the basketball players and winter athletes that had to be there. So I had to be there at noon on the 1st of January last year. I guess this year, 2018. And here's the part where I don't really know how to delicately put it, so I'm just going to say it. I struggle, not nearly as much anymore, but definitely a lot back then. I struggle a lot with mental health. And until somewhat recently, this is not something I've ever been able to comfortably talk about. But I struggle with depression and anxiety. And one of my biggest, triggers of my depressive episodes is being alone or feeling lonely. So why did I think it would have been a good idea for me to essentially lock myself in an empty building for 2 weeks by myself? I don't know why I ever thought that would be a great idea. I got paid more, and I got to stock up on free food because they gave us a credit card to Tops to use for the 2 weeks that we were there. Yeah, I got very, very low in the beginning of spring semester 2018. I don't want to go too much more into it than that, but the only good thing that came out of January was one of my friends. She was an RA with me. She was a winter RA with me, but she couldn't be there the first week. She had to be there. She came a week late. And I honestly don't know what I would have done if she wasn't there the second week, because we were friends before, but just because we had nothing else to do besides just vent about family life, vent about this other thing going on in our lives, we just got super, super close over that week and, like, over our RA training and just throughout that whole semester. We got super close. She's one of my best friends to this day. And, you know, she also struggles with this kind of stuff. So, just in, you know, talking with her, I was always kind of this person that was, like, very, just because this is just a culture that I grew up in. I'm sure that a lot of people can relate. I grew up in, you know, I don't need help. If something's, you know, going wrong up here, all you got to do is just tough it out. Just, like, mentally toughen up, you know. You're not sick. You know, just be happy. Why can't you just be happy? Obviously, that's not how it works. If I could just be happy, I would, you know. But one day I just asked her, I was like, you know, how do you do it? Like, what do you do to keep yourself sane through everything? And she said that she's religious. She's a Christian. And, you know, I knew that beforehand, but I didn't know. I was surprised to hear that answer. So, she just told me, we talked for like hours about this. She told me how just much hope her faith gave her. And, you know, I never grew up going to church. You know, before that semester, I had not been to church in, like, probably close to 15 years. So, the vast majority of my life. And this is not going to be some crazy, you should go to church thing. It's not. But one day I asked her, I'm like, you know, would you mind if I come with you? So I went to a college club that we have, you know, on campus. That's, you know, faith-based. And I started going every week, every Thursday, 7 p.m. And that helped me out so much. Not just, you know, the whole faith thing, but just the community. Because I'd never been around, you know, with the exception of my friends from my youth leadership group, whom I only see once or twice a year. So it doesn't help a ton. Like, they're my best friends and I love them all dearly. But I only see them, you know, at most 5-6 times a year. But just having a community who is so just genuine and who all admit that they have shit wrong with them too. But it's okay. And I never had the kind of community like that. So I think that's what helped me out more than anything. So TLDR for early 2018, it was a complete shit show. It got better toward the end of spring semester. I'm now fine. A lot more happened, but for your purposes, that's all you need. So going into summer 2018, you know, I didn't think at that point that my 2018 could get much worse than it already was. And I was so fucking wrong. This is where, if you've seen my summer update video, you had a bit of an advantage. Because I'm just going to rattle off quickly some things that happened over the summer. So, if you did not know, I am a biology, geology double major at my college. And if you're not in college, basically, most majors have a capstone class, which is like the class that you take at the end that sort of wraps up and brings together all the other courses that you've taken. But most, you know, classes, like normal classes, take place during the school year, but not for geology. We have to take a summer field course. And now because I'm trying to go to graduate school, you know, there's the options to take it for 3, 4, or 5 weeks in the summer. Because I'm going to grad school, my advisor was like, it would look a lot better on your application if you went for 5 weeks. So I was like, all right, I'm trying to get paid for grad school, so why not? So after the semester ended, I got 1 week off, and then on, like, the Sunday after, like, that Sunday, I had to report to the field station, which is basically just a big cabin in the woods that has a bunch of computers and, like, a dining hall and beds, in Albany, New York. That's roughly 3 hours away from me. And not really near where my college is at all, but we just own land out there for some reason. It's a long story. yeah, so I'd go out there and miss out on work. That was the first thing kind of weighing on my mind, was that altogether that class, between paying for it because normal financial aid does not pay for it because it's not during the semester, college is weird, missing out on 7 weeks of work, and spending a lot of money while I was there. That class cost me about $3,000 to like $3,500, which might not seem like a lot to some people, but to like a broke college student, that is so much money. So that was something really heavily weighing on my mind. And then, so backtrack a little bit. Toward the end of spring semester, I got the chance to present some of my own scientific research at a professional conference at the Geological Society of America. Super awesome. I got research published by a major scientific journal. Felt super good. Pat myself in the back a little bit. And while we take our geology club and go to this just, you know, as like a networking thing and get people to see what professional conferences are like. While we were there, I started talking to one of my classmates. Don't recommend, by the way. And, you know, over summer we started actually dating. Things were fine, until, you know, one day, she basically just ghosted me. And completely coincidentally, we talked about it later, and this wasn't the reason, but I had just opened up to her about my mental health and mental illness things like 2 or 3 days beforehand. So obviously, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's why she thinks I'm fucking weird and doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. So that freaked me out. But, you know, that wasn't the reason why. Long story short, actually something else happened, and then I'll come back to that story. Sorry, I get sidetracked super easily. I also say a lot, so I apologize. So, we're dating. This is, you know, we've been dating for like a month at this point, and then she ghosted me. And then literally like 2 days later, while I'm still at my field camp, I get a call from my sister. My sister and I are really good friends. We have a great relationship. We're basically the same person. We just quote SpongeBob and like memes to each other all the time. It's fantastic. But she's not the kind of person to just call me out of the blue, especially when she knows that I'm probably busy doing something. So I answer it, and she tells me that my grandpa, my mom's dad, had a major heart attack and was at the hospital in Syracuse, because, you know, in where I live, if anything major happens, the closest like big hospital is in Syracuse, New York. So she basically just made it seem like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that this is going on. That stressed me out, and all I wanted to do was talk to my girlfriend about it, but she wouldn't fucking talk to me, which we'll get to in a second, like I said. And so just when I'm stressed, I just need to leave wherever I'm at and go do something. So I went to Walmart, and this is maybe an hour later. My dad calls me while I'm at Walmart. And keep in mind, this is my mom's dad, not my dad's dad. So my dad calls me and is like, hey, so I know you talked to your sister. I don't think she told you how serious this is. So he was having liver problems for a long time, and he'd been going every week to get fluid drained from his abdomen. They were taking, this is not an exaggeration, they were taking 7 liters of fluid every week. So you know that 2 liter of Mountain Dew that you're sucking down? Imagine 3.5 of those. And they were doing that every single week. So he was not in good shape anyway. But that week they decided to take more than 7 liters. They decided to take as much as they possibly could. And his body just didn't take it. Luckily he was already at the hospital. He hadn't gotten home yet, so he was like out in the parking lot and it happened. So my dad is like, can you get down here at all? Like in the morning. But because by this point it was like 8 o'clock. So I was like, yeah, I'll talk to my teacher in the morning, and that's what I did. I went and I was supposed to be on, breakfast duty, cooking bacon and eggs for everybody that morning. But I went down to my teacher's office at like 6 a.m., told her what happened, and this is something I'll never forget, and this is pretty emotional part for me, so if I choke up a little bit, I'm sorry. But, so I head back to my cabin, start packing my stuff. She had already told me that I could leave, packing my stuff, and one of my buddies, this really big, stereotypical, kind of like a redneck, but like in the fun way, not like the super racist way. Big tough guy. He's like, hey man, aren't you supposed to be on breakfast duty? And I, obviously, like, I'm, pretty bent up about it. So I'm just keeping, looking down, packing my stuff. I'm like, I'm actually headed over to Syracuse. My grandpa had a heart attack. And this big macho guy comes over. And we're not super close friends. But he comes over, just gives me this big bear hug. And never expected that from him. Honestly, I really didn't. But I go. And very long, 2-day story short, he, when I got there and when I saw him, you could tell he just wasn't there. Like, his heart was beating, but that was about it. He was some kind of responsive when people walked into a room, but it's like, that's just kind of what the doctors tell you to make you feel better, and that they don't actually know. Because, like, he would move when people come into a room, but, like, that's honestly just probably, I'm not going to go into it because I'm kind of a pessimist that way. But you could tell he wasn't there. And the next morning we pulled the plug on him. And we went and ate lunch. As weird as that sounds. Like, my grandma made the decision. And we went and ate lunch. We, cried a lot. Went and ate lunch at a really nice restaurant. And, they all went home. And were with each other. But I had to go back to Albany. Because this entire time, I'm thinking, I can't fail this class. I can't. Because it reflects so heavily on my GPA and on my chances for grad school, and I can't even retake it, because if it was up to me, I would have just taken an incomplete, which is basically just when you don't finish a class, and taken it this coming summer, but they were not offering it this coming summer, so I had to finish it this last summer. So I get back before everybody else got back from the field that day, and how do you concentrate on anything when you're alone in the woods for, 2.5 more weeks after that? I shouldn't say alone. I was with some friends, but, so I ended up with a better grade in that than I probably deserved. I ended up with a B-. I don't honestly think I deserved that. Just because I was not there at all. And then circling back to my girlfriend at the time, so I say at the time, all I wanted to do was speak to my fucking girlfriend. But no. She told me, because we'd been able to talk a little bit through Snapchat, she would get on her sister's Snapchat on her phone, or she would, like, log onto her Snapchat through her sister's phone, and we would talk that way for a little bit, like, every couple nights. Turns out her phone got taken away, and I'm not going to tell you the reason because it's really stupid and it was a lie anyway. But turns out she had been academically suspended, which is, college talk for she flunked out, and lied to me about it all summer. I did not find out until I had gotten back to school in August. She found out in early June, about the same time my grandpa died. So for a solid 2.5 to 3 months, she lied to me. Yeah. So that was the nice cherry on top of... I didn't find out from her. I found out from one of my friends, who was my coworker as an RA, who's also a geology major. He was talking to one of our professors And he just mentioned something about her, but the teacher was like, "Oh, she's not coming back. She got suspended." And I found out through him when we went out to the bar one night. Yeah, so that was the nice little cherry on top of my summer. On top of having no money because I was broke from field camp, and I only had like 6 weeks of work after that. So going into the semester, I was broke as fuck. So that takes me into fall 2018, which was actually really uneventful. The beginning sucked, but it was great to be back among my friends and my like school family. If you don't go to college, you don't really know what your like school family is. Like, as close you are to some of your friends and family at home. And like, I love my family. Honestly, I don't have too many friends that live local, where I live, like at home. But like, your school family is something totally different. Your college family is something totally different. But I was just glad to be around them and glad to have them back. Unfortunately, my friend Jackie that I talked about, like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago, she transferred away, but we still talk all the time, so it's fine. She's doing better over there anyway, so kudos to her. But yeah, this semester was honestly pretty uneventful. I'm in a much better spot mentally, despite coming off of such a shit summer. And I'm, comfortable enough to talk about it, besides, talking to Jackie or talking to a camera lens. I can actually talk to actual people about it, which is fantastic. Something I've never been able to do my entire life up until about this point. So, the only thing really is that I've just been pretty stressed with applying to grad school, because applying to grad school is rough. If you're looking to go to college, give yourself lots of free time when you're applying to grad school. I'll just leave it at that. But all in all, I'm fairly happy, I'm, like I said, comfortable to talk about mental health stuff, helping other people, and I think that's been one of the biggest things, is that this has just been said, this entire year has been such an informative year for me. A lot about myself, because I've learned, the things that really, like, set me off, the things that I can do to help other people when they're struggling. So that's sort of my year in recap. I wish fall had more to talk about, but it really didn't. I'm not doing research currently. I spent a lot of time on the channel, probably a little more than I should have, because I neglected some of my grad school applications. The first one to do the 7th, so still have a couple days to work on that. But yeah, 2019, man. I'm not winter session RAing this time, although I kind of do still need the money. Because I was supposed to have a job lined up over winter break now, but that fell through. And it's actually funny. I texted my boss and was like, "Hey, do you guys think?" Because I also work at a hotel bar as a bar back during the summer. So I texted my boss, was like, "Hey, are you guys gonna need me at all over Christmas break? I'm home from this day to this day." Never responded. And so I was like, "All right, I guess I'm just literally doing nothing." So, and it's funny because my cousin works there, and my boss asked my cousin, was like, "Hey, do you think Gavin would, be free to work New Year's Eve?" And my cousin was like, "Why would he? Like, you never responded to him." And first of all, no, like, he can't. Like, that's the one night that he couldn't. Because there's no way I'm giving up my plans for that. No way I'm giving up. We've been doing this for like 5 years now, like this New Year's gathering. There's no way I'm missing out on that. But all of this to say, things are going to be changing coming to 2019. I'm going to try to stream more. I should have mentioned this earlier, so if you stuck around this long, thanks. I'm going to try to stream more, and like, but this time's going to be different. Every time that I've said I want to try and stream more, I try and stream for like 2 weeks, and then it just goes to shit. Like, I never have time. I do it consistently for like 2 weeks at the beginning of the semester when nothing's happening. And then by the time the semester picks up, I'm like, well, fuck, I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna basically cut out anything that I say on Twitch, because I'm just not gonna stream on Twitch. If I stream, it's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be most likely just shiny hunting if I have like a casual night where I've got nothing else to do, which isn't gonna be often, but I'll still have an event like at some points. Just shiny hunting and let's go. Maybe doing some Smash viewer battles. I don't know. So there will be streams. They might be few and far between. I'm not sure yet. But I guess all this to say thank you. Because, well, yeah, this you know, even though I literally receive no money from this, this does sometimes feel like a job. Just, you know, trying to maintain it, trying to keep it up, you know, maintaining videos on the channel. But not in like a bad way, you know? I don't really know how else to word it. It's sort of like a job, but not in a bad way. Only sometimes. Most of the time it's just me, oh, I've got, you know, 2 free hours today. Heck it, let's play some Pokemon. But I'm still going to be prioritizing channel growth. I'm going to be trying constantly to think of new ideas for the channel. Like I said, I'm going to be putting, I'd say it's probably going to be 65-35, with 65 Palette University, 35 this channel. So definitely go check out that channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And that will probably be, like I said, picking up like the second or third week in January. So there'll be a video between now and then, I'm sure. Probably 2 videos. But yeah. So as always, thank you very much for a very rough 2018. And if you enjoyed this year as much as I didn't, please like and or subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at CoolTrainerGav. Check out our other channel, Palette University, which focuses mainly on science and Pokemon theories and etc. And I guess until next year, smile later.